Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Guys, America's immigration debate just took a chilling new turn and hardly anyone is talking about the real consequences yet. Imagine this, you have lived in the United States for years. You might have a job, a family, maybe even US born children. Then one morning you get a knock on the door and you are told you have only 6 hours to pack your bag and your life. 6 hours, no lawyer, no guarantee you won't face danger, and you are on a plane to a country you might have never been lived in. Yes, guys, this is the reality many immigrants in America could soon face thanks to a new deportation plan quietly set in motion by US Immigration and Custom Enforcement or ICE. It's not just another border policy, it's a fundamental shift that immigration lawyers say could put thousands of people in harm's way. So, guys, today let's break down what's happening, how we got here, and what it really means for families living in the shadows. First, let's see the plan. What's actually changed? In late June, the US Supreme Court cleared the path for ICE to immediately deport immigrants to so called alternative countries. Now, what are these alternative countries? Even if the receiving country doesn't offer any guarantees of safety, before this ruling, US policy was that deportation almost always sent migrants back to their home countries or waited until there was a diplomatic assurance that they wouldn't be tortured or executed. But under the new plan, if your home country refuses to take you back, which isn't uncommon with countries like China or Cuba, ICE can now choose a third country for you instead. And it gets more alarming. The memo says exigent circumstances. Deportation can happen with only 6 hours notice. Even the standard is just 24 hours, barely enough time to contact a lawyer, let alone gather your family or challenge a possible life or death decision. So guys, why this is a huge deal? Why does this matters? Well, think about these impacts. Some of the people at risk are long-term residents, workers with the valid permits, parents with US citizen kids, people who fled violence or persecution decades ago. Immigration lawyers are sounding the alarm that those people could suddenly be uprooted and dumped into countries where they have no connections. That is, no family, no friends, maybe not even a common language. Groups like the National Immigration Litigation Alliance warns that this opens the door for devastating human rights abuses. Just recently, they highlighted the case of a Guatemalan man deported to Mexico, a country he had no ties to, where he was kidnapped and raped. And it's not just hypotheticals. The courts have already heard real cases where the US government deported people to places where they faced horrific abuse. Now, let's see the legal battle. Who is pushing back? Of course, it's not all happening without a fight. Immigration advocates and civil liberty groups are challenging this policy in court, arguing that it violates federal laws and international agreements like the Convention Against Torture. Earlier this year, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration from using this third country loophole without giving immigrants at least 10 days with written notice, so they have had time for a fair hearing. But the Supreme Court stepped in last month and paused that block, siding with the administration push for faster removals, even if there is no time to ensure people aren't being sent into harm's way. Even some Supreme Court justice voiced deep concerns. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by Justice Kagan and Jackson, dissented forcefully. In their words, in matters of life and death, it is best to proceed with caution. But as she noted, the government is doing the opposite. So, guys, what happens now? IC's acting director Todd Lyons says the new policy follows guidance from Homeland Security. If an immigrant objects and says they fear torture or persecution, they will technically be screened. But that screening has to happen within the 24 hours. If the government says there is no credible fear, deportation can proceed anyway and quickly. Critics argues this window is far too short for any meaningful protection. If you are terrified, maybe don't speak English and have no lawyer, how do you prove your fear in just a few rushed hours? What if you can't get documents or witnesses in time? So, guys, for people watching from the outside, this might feel distant, but for tens of thousands living undocumented or stuck in the legal limbo of decades old asylum claims, this is their daily fear reality. Will today be the day they are forced into plane? So, guys, where does this leave us? Immigration has always been a divisive topic in America, but under the noise about secure borders and illegal crossings, there are real people caught in the middle. People who came for safety or opportunity, who built their lives here, and who could now lose everything in a matter of hours. So, guys, is this a kind of country we want to be? Should the US government have the power to ship people off without basic guarantees of safety or even a fair chance to plead their case? That's a question for lawmakers, judges, and yes, for all of us too. So, guys, if you found this breakdown helpful, share it with someone who needs to know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this policy goes too far or is it necessary for national security? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into stories that shape your world. Thank you so much for watching and stay informed, stay curious. I will see you guys in the next video.